Yeah, I have some notes on my smartphone because I wanted to talk about technicalities, right? So, because this YouTube channel has been really expanding and it's sort of taking over my life, and I'm constantly trying to improve everything. And I just wanted to let you know of some of the things that I learned by the way or on the way. So, first of all, I have this Zoom online class every Tuesday evening, which I was very excited about in the beginning, having a live meeting. I didn't do that before. And I have some people from the UK who are joining me on Tuesday evening. But the thing was, I started these lessons and I could hear the voices really good. And they could hear my guitar very well in my voice because I had it on this, what it is called, like original sound or musicians mode. But the participants didn't have it on this mode, so I couldn't hear the guitar. And since I try to have this course really interactive, I'm also saying sometimes, please play that for me, and then I can't hear like nothing, and that like really freaked me out big time because I thought, how can I teach if you can't hear them? And also even more complicated, I would have to explain in English how they should change their computer settings, and if they have a Windows computer and I have a Mac, I can't explain anything at all. And I really needed some time to come up with a solution. I found another saxophone player who has like a manual, if you want, so that really guides you step by step through the process of enabling this sound, so you can enable it on your smartphone, on your computer. And if you want to have it, I can send it to you. I copy and pasted it and did my own PDF. So now I'm sending this PDF up front before the course even starts. You know, when I started with all this digital stuff, you know, I'm a musician, right? I always wanted to like play a lot, and I would have never dreamt that I would make videos later on. My father also, he has been really into photography and also videography. Had like a Super 8 camera, and he also gave me like a camera when I was smaller. I wasn't too interested but still it somehow runs in our family. So, but I never figured it would be like this, checking out so much stuff. And I just want to say, in the beginning, one of my problems was to synchronize audio and video, and I only had iMovie, and it was in a state of mind that only very special people can buy Final Cut Pro or Logic, right? Because the people who buy those programs and also try and do something with them, they must be super clever, and it is not for me. So in the beginning I started with iMovie, and I had really big trouble with the synchronization, and it became so big in my mind. This thing became so big, like it was like, you know, like the metaphor, like the picture of me. I can't do a YouTube channel. I can't do that. It was all in this audio video synchronization thing. And over the years, I learned that when it comes to digital stuff, you really only need to know the settings, right? For some stuff, at least. Of course, making great videos is a completely own horse. I don't know where the horse come from, but you know, of course, there's an art to it. But I mean, just like much of my problems today are very like to know the way how to do it. And another thing that I've been struggling with is, for example, I bought this lavalier setup and then it has been distorting really a lot when I plugged it into the camera. So I needed to understand how I set the microphone settings in the camera that the lavalier wouldn't be too hot or distorting. And then I realized, best of all, sound's going to change. I recorded into the Zoom recorder, but then not in the microphone input, but up here. Here, you have to plug it in here. And just stuff like this, right? Also, I wanted to sell part of my online course via Shopify, and I didn't know how to sell a video on Shopify. And then I thought I sell a PDF with a link, and then I had like the biggest trouble finding a way how to get a clickable link in a PDF. I'm sure it's super easy, but I don't want to buy Acrobat Reader because this would be another subscription, and I can tell you I have so many subscriptions for the music, for the channel, a graphic program, a lot of stuff. And so I started getting back to the idea that I can upload videos to Shopify itself, because actually what is really cool is you can upload as many files as you want, but each file can't be bigger than 5 gigabytes, and a video can be easily 3 to 4 gigabytes or more. And then I needed to understand how I can minimize that file, and then also after hours spending on the computer I find a program which is sort of a plug-in. I think it's an app from Final Cut Pro, which is like called the compressor. And then you can basically compress everything that you want into any format that you want without too much loss of high quality. But then you need to understand what is high quality in a video, and I had to learn about containers and already forgot half of it, of course, as well. But after a while I realized how I can export it and get a video, and I also thought like other people must have the same problems. So basically this whole YouTube journey for me is like a journey in getting into a problem solving mode and understanding the problem, articulating the problem, and then finding a way and sticking with it. And I think I'm a little bit more self-confident in the meanwhile, because I know there has to be a solution, there has to be one, I just don't know it yet. And when I find it, I'm really happy, and I can continue this journey on, you know, checking stuff out and just making the audio and video content better all the time. I cancelled my job at the local music school, and this is so exciting to me. I've been working there for 11 years and I cancelled it. And I think one of the reasons is also I'm going to be 50 next week, and I imagined myself sitting in this room teaching kids the ukulele, because that's what I do, and turning 50 or being 50. And you know, my biggest fear has always been that I couldn't leave this job still. It doesn't pay well, but it does pay, right? And it took me so many years to muster up the courage to decline, to resign. And I did that, and I'm feeling like a new person because it had so much weight on my shoulders. Of course, it comes also with responsibilities for your students, right? You're not leaving your boss, but you're leaving all the students also that you have, and there's never the right moment to do that. But I really realized another thing that I didn't realize before, and it's all about, you know, listening to yourself and not making sort of fun of your own emotions. And that I just don't want to be treated like this anymore. I think we musicians have to put up with a lot of stuff, also very bad payment, not only for teaching but also for playing. And it's sort of what you do because you want to play, and you get into this job of being a musician, you know that it's going to be like this. But I just realized that in like an overall emotional setup on a psychology side of things, it doesn't do me any good because it's nobody's fault, right? I'm not blaming anyone, but I have been studying jazz guitar for like 8 years. I am devoting my life to learning, still learning all the time, still practicing, also really working on my craft as a teacher because I find that very important. I'm very interested in psychology, so I'm a person who wants to develop. I want to get better. I also want, of course, to give back. But I felt like I couldn't do that in the school, and I felt like it really didn't matter so much. And I started there as like a jazz guitar teacher, and I ended up as a ukulele teacher. And there's nothing wrong with the ukulele, right? But it's just not the instrument I want to play. And you know, it's just like this big hierarchy of and bureaucracy where people sort of, it's really like, you know, I had to think about it because I have always been in this room on my own, which is like typical for a music school, but it's really like a Kantian scenario. You go there, you teach the people, and then you go home, and then you get a check in the middle of the month, and but there's no community. At least there was no community for me, like for jazz guitar. I think there's a big community for classical guitar, but not for myself. And what I want to do, I couldn't do there. It had no, you know, there was no reason for me to be there anymore. There was no financial reason, and there was also no reason of developing something. Yes, right. For example, I wanted to give group lessons there as well, and it's just not possible. So I canceled that job, and now I'm super relieved and super excited because my business that I built up over the last years is continuing to grow, but it also has to continue to grow now because I'm really on my own, and it feels crazy. At times I'm panicking. Then I really have to relax and think about what's working out already. And yes, it's a journey, and I want to take you on this journey. So yeah, let me know how you're doing if you're a musician, because I think we all have a lot of stuff we have to check, right? Like, how can we make a living, and how can we also nurture our soul still, right? Because making all the videos and teaching is all fun, but at the end of the day, maybe we just want to make music, but to earn music, to earn money by making music that we love is not always the easiest feat. But if you have a solution, please write it in the comments. I think that would be great to discuss about it. See you soon. Bye.